Our next storytellers for the night are Ann Rutherford and Norm Brecke. They are telling tonight as conjoined twins. They sometimes tell as ad spotlight here. They sometimes tell separately, but tonight it will be together, and we can't wait to hear them. So please welcome Ann and Norm.
Thank you,
Jeff. Fantastic.
Thank you.
What
really
a
nice.
Great crowd of people to be with.
Whew.
Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Well, our first story is called
A Grave Mistake.
Two college students were walking home after a late night Halloween party.
Boy, is it late.
It is. Woohoo! Hey, I gotta get back to the dorm. I gotta cram for my econ final.
Oh, well, we'll just take the shortcut to the cemetery.
Oh yeah, that's always a good idea.
You know, it's not too bad out here. It's kind of nice, huh? Full moon, and looking pretty good out here. Did you hear that?
Yes. You know what? It is probably nothing.
Yeah, like raccoon, maybe. Squirrels. Yeah.
Squirrels.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
Okay,
well,
let's get going. I really got to get back up. It's a big squirrel.
Yeah, that's a big squirrel. Maybe. Sounds like it came from that hedge over there, kind of. Maybe in that direction.
It's definitely coming from behind.
Is behind that hedge? Isn't
Yeah.
that where we went to the funeral for our college professor?
Oh my gosh, you're right.
The English professor, Dr. Saltiamaka.
Dr. Saltiamaka, what a guy. Oh, what a stickler for grammar. I used to get my papers back just covered with red ink and spelling.
I learned so much from him, but he was
I loved
picky.
him.
He was.
You know, I hope there is nobody messing with his grave.
I know. Well, let's go
Let's
over
go
there.
find out.
Yeah, all right. Hey, you. Sure enough, there was someone sitting on a little stool right over Dr. Saltiamaka's grave, and he was chiseling on the headstone. Hey, you! What are you doing? That's Dr. Saltiamaka. What are you doing here, Doctor?
Those idiots! They misspelled my name.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
That was our opening salvo. Oh, you're still here. Okay. Now we have a song. And I'm going to put on my special Halloween skeleton apron.
An original song written by a really great songwriter.
Who he's married to. Yes, I wrote this song about 12 years ago. And I grew up in a house with a cemetery on one side and a cow pasture on the other. So I loved as a child, in the daytime I'd watch the cows. At night I would kneel on my bed and look out through my window and look into the graveyard that I could see across the street and imagine what was going on. And so this song is what I hope is happening in the graveyard. We're trying to put the lyrics in the chat. We're doing our best.
Our best.
We're going to hit enter.
We're going to hit the right thing.
Note.
There, so you can sing along at home on your muted microphone.
Did they come in?
I think they did.
There they are. All right. So mute and sing along. It's called Skeleton Dance. Way down yonder when the weather gets colder, down in the graveyard where we weep and molder, dance like the skeletons dance. One more time. Way down yonder when the weather gets colder, down in the graveyard where we weep and molder, dance like the skeletons dance. Late at night when the coast is clear, those bony terpsichoreans do appear. Flash of femur and clavicle as they go dancing skull to skull. And way down yonder when the weather gets colder, down in the graveyard where we weep and molder, dance like the skeletons dance. Rib bones clicking as they tangle, foxtrot makes those bones first jangle. Charleston puts tibia akimbo, cracking their vertebra doing the limbo. Oh, the shin bone's connected to the knee bone, and the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone. Thigh bone's connected to the hip bone. Now shake and rattle all those bones from way down yonder when the weather gets colder. Down in the graveyard where we weep and molder. Dance like the skeletons dance. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Move it or lose it, just like us. Death is just the final hurdle. Shimmy right out of your pelvic girdle. Way down yonder when the weather gets colder. Down in the graveyard where we weep and molder. Dance like the skeletons dance. One more time to close. Way down yonder when the weather gets colder. Down in the graveyard where we weep and molder. Dance like the skeletons dance. Dance like the skeletons dance. Dance like the skeletons dance. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Norm. Thank you, me. Thank you, everyone. This next story that we have is a very local story. This is our last story of our set.
It's a real live legend that comes just from over here a couple of blocks.
Yeah, if you were here, you could see it through the window. If there was a window, it would be there.
That's right. While strolling through the park one day, in the very merry month of May, I was taken by surprise by a pair of roguish eyes. In a moment my poor heart was stolen away.
Hey, Norm, look at that long dress that little girl is wearing.
And that's how the whole thing started.
It was a couple summers ago, pre-pandemic, and we had taken Norm's Uncle Stan with us to the big Scandinavian Midsummer Festival at Oaks Amusement Park, which is just a few blocks away from us where we live here in Portland, Oregon.
Oaks Park is over 100 years old.
It opened May 30, 1905, and it still has the original dance pavilion and the original roller skating rink, complete with pipe organ.
Yeah, the roller derby gals still practice there. Now, most of the rides, though, have changed over time. I mean, they try to keep up to date as much as they can, but the carousel that is to the original that opened in 1913 is still there, and it is beautiful. It's a carved wooden menagerie carousel, which means it's not horses. It's like lions and tigers and frogs and
kangaroos,
ostriches and geese. I mean, it's really pretty odd, but it's fun.
There's a sign to the entrance of the park right in front of you, right beyond it. You see this wonderful carousel menagerie, and the sign says
Oaks Park, where the fun never ends. And you know, I have to say, we really did have a good time that day with my Uncle Stan. You know, and now you may not be able to know this about me, but I'm Scandinavian. I may have mentioned that before. But my Uncle Stan is, of anybody in my family, the Scandinavianist. I'm telling you, he is constantly telling stories of the old fishermen down on the Columbia River, of him growing up in the 30s and 40s in Clatskanie, Oregon, down at the docks. So, you know, we had a pretty good time.
We had a really good time. Of course, we had to eat. I mean, that's a huge part of going to any festival. So we had Swedish meatballs and red cabbage, avoided the lutefisk. Then we saw some Norwegian musicians. We watched some Scandinavian dancers. I mean, the whole thing was great, but then we were pretty tired, so it was time to head home.
Now, my Uncle Stan is over 80 years old, so he had to take a little pit stop at the restroom on the way out, but we took that opportunity to go look at the menagerie carousel.
Ah, wow. I don't know which one's my favorite. I mean, I love the frogs.
I think the ostriches, or maybe the goose. They're so
It's
weird.
just hard to choose. Hey, Norm, look at that long dress that little girl is wearing.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
see
you see her?
Yeah. Oh, it's like from the '70s. My
Yeah.
sister had one like that. I think they call them granny dresses.
Granny dresses. That's what
yeah.
they were. Yeah, I had one when I was like 10 or 11. Oh, that is so cute.
Oh, and her rainbow shirt, and
Yeah.
the
button.
the happy face button,
I
the
had
smiley.
That was everywhere. That was like quintessential 70s.
I know.
Hey,
I even
Uncle
wore mine to
Stan.
school.
Uncle Stan, come over and look at this.
Yeah. Hey, Uncle Stan.
Huh,
They-
Norman?
look at that girl on the carousel.
Mhm.
She's all dressed like it's the '70s. You know that
Oh.
long dress and the happy face button.
Norman, I'm not. I don't see a little gal like that. But you know what I saw on my way over here? There is a little gal on that carousel. She is wearing a little puff sleeve blouse and a lace collar. Looks like something your Auntie Sharon would have worn back in grade school when we were back in grade school in Klatskadai. Now where is she?
I don't really.
I don't see her.
Did it stop?
Oh,
I didn't see it
she-
stop.
Did they get off?
No,
I didn't see anybody get
Think
off.
so. That's
odd.
odd. And we went home, and we didn't talk about it. In fact, we kind of almost forgot about it. But about a year later, we were back at Oaks Park for another reason.
Well, we had to get some publicity photos taken, and we thought, hey, Oaks Park.
Oh, that'd be great,
I mean,
yeah.
what a scene, you know? So we're working at a summer camp with this great gal named Sonia, who had just finished her first year of art school, and she had a camera, and she was ready to use it. So she met us down at Oaks Park.
Yeah, well, I think it was like a Monday or a Tuesday, one of
Uh-huh.
those days when they're not very busy, but there would be people in the park. So we went down there, and she
Sonia starts ordering us around in a very soft,
moving around. She's trying
Gen
to
X
be,
kind of way, like moving
yeah,
us around, and then she'd snap the photo.
getting in front of things and moving around and trying to pose. You know, it went pretty well. And finally, she set us up right in front of the carousel and kind of had a blur behind it. It was a pretty neat effect she was going for. And we took it seemed like a ton of pictures, but then she gave us the thumbs up, such as it was. And we walked over and we said, hey, Sonia, that was really great. It was
Yeah,
really
it
good.
was
Oh, I
awesome.
love that old carousel.
Oh, I know.
Hey, Sonia, hey, Ann, look, it's that 70s girl. Sonia, look,
Huh?
see now, there's that girl, she's got a long granny dress.
Uh.
She had the same exact outfit on last year. I'm telling you,
Like,
she's kind of a rainbow striped shirt,
no,
and she's got a button with one of those happy face things on it.
I
And
don't see anybody like that there, Norm.
No,
But you
well-
know what? There is a girl on there that I have been watching because she has a Hannah Montana T-shirt on, and it's like
Yeah.
just like I wore when she was my age or I was her age, you know, whatever. Anyway, I can't. But where is she? I don't
Huh.
see her
I
anymore.
don't
Did
see
they?
the 70s girl
get off-
anymore either.
Maybe they got off together.
Did it stop at all?
I
Huh.
didn't see it stop.
That's odd.
odd.
So we went home. And we didn't talk about it.
And that's really odd
Because we talk a lot,
about everything.
all the time. We were pretty much in deep denial.
And then later that night, we were getting into bed and I was about to turn off the light.
And
Uh-huh.
I have a confession to make.
What?
Well, I Googled, you know, Oaks Park, 70s girl.
Oh, I am not one bit surprised. Okay, let me, what'd you find out?
All right, well, it seems like over the last 35 years,
Yeah.
a lot of people have seen the 70s girl.
Really?
A lot of them. And it's really something. It's like a lot of people see her and then she just kind of disappears.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Sorry to give you the willies.
I know. Well, listen, Norm, I have a confession too.
You do?
Well, I looked in that book we have, you know, that Oregon Ghosts and Mysteries book, and it said basically the same thing about the little girl from the 70s, but it also said that they interviewed a real little girl, like a real live little girl, and she was standing waiting for her mom just right by the carousel, and all of a sudden she felt a cold hand on her shoulder, and she felt a cold breath by her ear. Then she heard, "Let's go."
Whew. Yeah, that's whew. That's whew, that gave me a chill. Yeah, yeah. Well, I have to say that the that website it said more.
Of course.
Yeah, they've seen girls from all different eras, like the 30s and 40s. You know, just like Uncle Stan saw. Yeah.
Oh no, that means
And-
it's still. Oh gee,
Yeah,
wait a
and
minute.
the theory is that their souls are trapped in the park.
Oh no. But wait, now Sonia, she saw Hannah Montana. What's that? Like the 90s?
No, it's like 2000s, 2010.
No. Means it's still going on.
Yeah. Oaks Park.
Where the fun never ends.
While strolling through the park one day, in the very merry month of May, I was taken by surprise by a pair of roguish eyes. In a moment, my poor heart was torn away.
Yay!
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. You're right. The scariest part of that story was lutefisk.
Lutefisk.